Hello there, Scorpio, and welcome to your November forecast. I'd like to start off simply by saying thank you. I know that a lot of you have been waiting a while to see these videos. I needed that extra time for recovery, and it really means a lot that you allowed for me to mend and get into a good place in mind, body, and spirit. So thank you so much. I'm going to try to give extra this month so that you can get all of that love right back. I'd like to start off just by reminding you guys first that these videos can be used for your sun sign, your rising, as well as your moon. If you don't happen to know all three, don't worry about it. Stick with the sign that you were born under, and that should be enough. Also, I'd like to say thank you. A lot of you have been supporting me on Patreon, as well as giving occasional donations through my website. That goes directly into purchasing supplies, and more importantly, in allowing for me to just carve out time during the month to do this. Like you, I have a regular job, so this helps me do what I want to do here. So thank you for the support. If you would like to join in and also give back, you can do so by going to Patreon/my name. I'm going to put all of the information here at the bottom of the screen. You can also click that second link. Again, a one-time donation or a recurring one, it makes a big difference. Let's go ahead now and get into all of the information coming through for this month, starting with the channeled message. To get to this channeled message, I select a deck of cards and I meditate on your sign. And as I do this, I usually get an image and also some words that come to me as I do automatic writing. Your message this month was to try to keep the door open. That's what I saw, was sort of an opening of a portal or a doorway. And by doing that, you're going to be open to new ways of thinking, new ideas. And I wanted to remind you that help and inspiration can come from unlikely or unexpected sources. So it's really important to keep all avenues open and at your disposal this month and see how that works out for you. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the cards and see what messages they have to show for the month ahead. At this point, I like to remain quiet. So after I shuffle the cards, I'm just going to lay out the cross and then we'll take a look at what's coming through card by card. Then I'll expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Additionally, I like to look at a card that I refer to as the Catalyst. The Catalyst helps us embrace positive aspects of the month, shows a connective thread, and really helps us see how everything is coming into view and everything's focused. So we have a Wheel of Fortune card here. Even though this is an oracle deck, it actually is referring here to opportunities with money, with resources, with time. It feels like this is a really good month for you to make changes in that area. And whenever this is in the catalyst position, this is showing, for some of you, a seasonal shift too. When I look at cards like the Sun or the Wheel of Fortune, they indicate 4 seasons to me. So this could be a brand new cycle that many of you are starting, like a brand new job, or a way of looking at your money habits or your resource habits that is on the positive side, is fortuitous. So I want you to embrace it and start to open up to this idea that it's time, that you're ready, and that you're going to welcome in this shift and see what this shift is going to bring in for you. Let's look at each card and really unpackage all of the elements of the month. Your central card is the Six of Wands. This is a great card when it comes to needing to speak in front of groups or needing to win approval or acclaim from somebody. It's also a really good card for delegation, for anything where a larger group or percentage of people need to sort of understand your point of view. So the energy this month, it makes sense. If you wanted to launch a business, sell a product, express a new idea, you have a lot of energy that's supporting you and allowing you to accomplish that with the Six of Wands. One thing that you want to be careful of with this is to try not to exist in a place where all you're doing is sort of second guessing yourself, wondering if the audience will like this, or if or you sort of edit yourself. This is especially true of creative people. So if there's something you're trying to do and you're thinking to yourself before you've had a chance to sort of execute it, either physically or writing it or something, this card is saying, don't let that happen. Just trust that you have a good pulse on what people want and allow for them to react. Don't second guess yourself before it's been released. On top of the Six of Wands, we have a creativity card, a manifestation card. Because it's here in the modification placement, I'm not really getting any negative energy surrounding this, only that you'll want to really figure out what's the best use of your time, because the Magician can handle a lot of things. It's like a jack of all trade card. So decide what you want to best use your energy for this month, and know that you have a lot of ability to manifest. Realize too that your thoughts are power. Whenever I see something like this, I've been reminding people over the course of the past few months, and I feel like this month I've said it a lot, but it also is something that bears repeating. So if you think favorably of yourself and you believe in the potential for things to happen, there's a much greater likelihood, I should say, that can manifest. If all you do is sort of surround yourself with the idea that it can't happen, or you're afraid of what could go wrong, then you're inviting that sort of energy in instead. I want you to sort of look at this month as a fresh canvas or a sandbox, something that you could enjoy working in, sort of a playful metaphor for what's coming through energetically this month. So allow your creativity to be untethered. And also, I would say in relationships, be more playful. If you feel like you're in a little bit of a rut, maybe suggest a new place to go to dinner, or just surprise your partner in a positive way and let them know that you love them. As we look at what's coming through at the very beginning of this month, there's a very sort of stand-up energy and a stand-out energy as well. We have the Star card here, which is showing that you're in a place and a position where you may be challenged to take ownership over something, to step into the limelight, to also get people to really work together. So that Six of Wands can also be a cooperative card. And if you're in a place of power or management, the two of these are a wonderful combination. This is showing, again, people being on your side. This is showing respect and admiration. So really good time to be in a leadership position. And for those of you that are creative, this could mean a new job. For anybody that is in a profession where you would have an agent managing your work, so a musician, a writer, an artist of any sort, an actor, this is really showing that there's a chance for you to get something that you want, or to kind of make your own sort of print on the world by doing something creative. So embrace that, some really strong energy as we look at the beginning of this month. And again, for many of you, just a new job or a new opportunity, a new way to make money. Building upon that, we have the King of Pentacles in your crowning position. And when I looked at this, I actually got the message to share your insights, to share your resources, to share your time. If you have more than enough this month, do something of service for others. And if you're in a position where you're looking for mentorship, this is also showing that there might be a strong mentor out there coming through as earth energy, as someone who has more than enough. So wherever you stand on that equation, whether you need help or you want to give help, know that this is a really good time for mentorship overall. As we look at some of the challenges that face you this month, right around the middle of the month, there is a challenge about how direct you can be, particularly in communications, written communications. We have the Page of Swords. For me, pages are always about delivering messages and the clarity of that message. So for some of you, you may be wanting to really just sort of cut to the point, but make sure that you're using language in a way that is not kind of coming off as too abrasive. So it's a good time to work with an editor, or at the very least have a second set of eyes weigh in on what you're writing to make sure that the tone is correct. As we look at the ego this month and really what you need to do to be successful, this is a card that's showing that there might be some challenges on the right way to do something, or how much experience one person or the other person might have at some juncture this month. What you want to do, this is where I think the channel message really is playing in, is to understand that maybe you do have the right way or the preferred method, but it's important to at least entertain or maybe to integrate pieces of someone else's approach, because it could strengthen your approach as well. So whenever you see a card like the Queen or King of Wands, or even Swords in reverse, or the Emperor in reverse, there's sometimes a cutoff of ideas before they can germinate. So if you're in a team, if you're a leader, even if this is you as a parent in your household, you want to stay open to what's coming in from people around you or people that report up to you, or in the case of being a parent, your children, because they might have some keen perspectives that you're missing out on, or they might be asking for help in a way that you're not really paying attention to. So stay open, entertain other possibilities. You can always decide to take it or leave it, but if you take it, I actually see some benefits in strengthening your own approach. So try to find like the Venn diagram, the overlap where your approach and someone else's blend together nicely, and then you can still keep some of your components individually, and you're going to be stronger for that marriage. Now, we have another Wheel of Fortune here. Now, there are two different ones. The first one is in the Catalyst. The second one is in your environment. The Catalyst is showing me positive opportunities throughout the month. The environment is showing me not to force action, not to try to work a counter to the flow. Because for me, the Wheel of Fortune typically spins in one direction. There might be something coming through this month that is a retrograde action where you have to go back and revise something, or if you're trying to launch an idea or a project or something, if there's a little bit of a pause, use the pause to your benefit. Don't feel like you have to force something out before it's done. It's kind of like if you're cooking, you don't want to serve something half-baked. And that's what this card is really reminding you this month, is that all things, including delays or roadblocks, are actually hidden blessings. There's something there that is either helping you improve your idea or possibly even saving you from embarrassment, personal harm, some sort of situation that you can't take back. These roadblocks, these separations, these sort of retroactive actions that are happening are actually there to help you out. When I looked at your hopes and fears, I get a card where, even though it's a very sort of practical thing, planning of the future, or planning for the future, I should say, I'm getting a note of being playful. That was actually the first word that came through. So I want you to think of something that is fun and plan that out in the future, whether it's in regards to what you do for a living, or if it's just planning a vacation. I feel like you need something to look forward to that you can reward yourself with. So I don't really think it matters with regards to how the cards are laid out if this is something that's going to be productive. In fact, it might be better if it's just fun, because that so-called playtime actually helps feed you in a way that provides more productivity, that provides that perspective that you need sometimes to come up with great ideas. So plan a vacation, some sort of fun adventure, something that you just want to do. And it doesn't have to be in the near future, but it should be something within the next year, okay? So put something on the calendar, allow that to be your inspiration, and see what comes of that. I would be surprised if you actually don't get some really positive effect afterwards because of that ability to just decompress and let your mind wander and possibly come up with some cool ideas. But that's not the express purpose. The express purpose is rewarding yourself and also giving yourself an incentive for all the hard work that you're doing. As we look at the outcome, there's a lot of really positive cards. It's almost overwhelmingly positive this month. But as we end the month, there is the Three of Swords. This is a chance for you to work through some healing in your life. The Three of Swords has to do with breaking up, sometimes letting go, or letting your heart space just sort of heal. So I want you to look at what's going on in your life this month. I'm actually going to pull a clarifying card to see where your Three of Swords area might be really focused. Okay, so we have Justice in reverse. Three of Swords in and of itself can indicate a breakup. Justice almost invariably, when reversed, indicates saying no, stepping away, breaking up, or leaving. So for some of you, there's going to be a decision this month that it's time to let go. It doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be quitting a job. It could be giving up something that you like in your life. It could just be like not eating sugar. Whatever this is, it's something that you wish you could keep, but you know you need to step away from. And you also know that by walking away from it, you're going to be better off. So we can't always wrap that part up in a pretty bow, but the fact that it's an inevitability and it's also going to be a healthy thing for you, I think that's something you can embrace. But of course, I think it's important. You are a sign that feels a lot. You need to work through this and process this. So some of you, in addition to that long-term vacation I was talking about, take a couple days off at the end of the month. Take a sick day, take a personal day. Do something for yourself now to just cherish and appreciate all the hard work you're doing. This will help you work through whatever sort of emotional weight might be on your back. For some of you, this can also just indicate sort of a seasonal case of the blues or one small thing that you need to work through, and by giving yourself that time, maybe pampering yourself and going to a spa or just getting a massage or watching a movie, renting a movie, doing something just for yourself, you're going to bounce back even faster, okay? Let's go ahead and expand the forecast. We'll begin with your health card, which as a reminder includes mind, body, and spirit. Your health card this month is going to require one more shuffle, so let me do that one more time. There we go. Okay, your health card this month is really trying to work through that sense of not being isolated. This card plays into what I looked at in the outcome here. So this was reversed, and this is much like a hermit card, but it says feeling alone. And if I were to take the hermit and show a reversed state, what I would say is it's time to step out of your shell. It's time to kind of rejoin the world, or to find activities or things that bring you a sense of grounding and community. So whether that's community with animals or community with nature or with friends, I don't care, but I do want you to sort of get out a little bit and find a way to work on emotional stability and emotional healing this month, and that's what the health card has to do with. Let's look at your wealth card and see what the message is with regards to your work, your career, your self-confidence. Your message this month is the River Queen, which says flow, letting go, and natural movement. And there's so much synchronicity this month between the cards and I would say the expanded forecast and then the Celtic cross. We talked about flow. And with this, I was listening to NPR earlier about people that were playing Tetris and sort of getting into a flow, and how that was creating a sense of happiness. Maybe there's an activity that you can do this month that it could be gardening, it could be working a crossword puzzle, it could be playing a computer game, something that can help you disengage from the noise that's going on. Meditation, of course, is great too, but whatever, sometimes we need a physical activity to help disengage the gears here and then meditate. So whatever is required for you to kind of get into your internal cosmic flow, I think that's really important. Once you do this, that release that I see at the end of the month with the Three of Swords and the Justice card reversed is going to be a lot easier. You're not going to be holding on that much to it. And because this is in wealth, once you allow for natural flow to kind of come back into your life, this means that the Wheel of Fortune, which I saw at the beginning, can then be the dominant card, the upright Wheel of Fortune. You start to get in a place of receiving, of seeing positive things going through, but you have to let go first. In some of the decks that I have, when I look at a Devil card, there are just chains. And if we were looking at this Wheel of Fortune as kind of being chained so that it couldn't go in any direction, you're kind of unshackling things this month. You're going to process the emotions of letting go. You're going to do something that allows you to get into that normal routine and disengage a little bit from the heaviness of the emotions. And after that, you're going to feel a release and you're going to be ready to be productive again. Let's look now at, we looked at health, wealth, let's look at love and see if there's any specific messages, especially for those of you that might be stepping out of a relationship or letting go. The message for love this month is, not surprisingly, a card that is showing a lot of movement. We have Storm, but it's in the reverse position. So I see an easing of tension this month. For some of you, that's the act of releasing. For others, this is realizing that you're going to pick and choose your battles. And that's really the advice with the Storm card. You don't have to get caught in the thicket. You can observe it from afar, you can disengage, or you can just be very cognizant of your role in whatever's going on. So take a step back, let go. Don't feel like you have to sort of stir the pot too much. Just let things slow down, let them simmer, and your energy and your also your relationships are going to thank you, because sometimes we can just spill out and say things that we don't want to, and that's what you can avoid this month. Now, as we look at your Destiny card, a reminder that this one is malleable, at least in the way that I view the spread here. It's like a GPS, and this is your chance to exercise free will. We'll look and see where you're headed and see if there's a general note on either the positive or negative aspects of that. So the message here is to focus upon divine and perfect health, really taking the focus off of everything that's been going on around you and putting it on you. And the card was reversed, and that's why I see it as very much, it's almost like a double whammy here with take care of yourself and focus on health. So when I was looking at your health card here, it was all about letting go. And so I think that anything you can do to allow for a release would be great. Some of you, this can also include things like sports. It doesn't matter, just an activity seems to be the integral part of that. And then just allowing your energy to kind of channel through that activity. I think that's going to be really beneficial. Now at this point, I like to review everything we talked about, having seen the expansion of the forecast plus that channeled information, we can bring it into a more cohesive focus. When I was tuning into your sign, the message was to open up the door, to keep the portal open, because new ideas and opportunities can come from unexpected sources. So don't close off. And that also has to do with your channeled information and then your environment. Staying in the flow, allowing things to come to you, not blocking anything off, particularly energetically. You don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and review everything that's in front of us here as well. Right here in the center, we have some really favorable cards, reminding you that you have a great ability to connect with people this month, both in a leadership position, but also just in trying to get your point across. Your creativity as well is at a prime. Don't second guess how it's going to be received, just allow the channel to open. I mentioned having fun, letting this be a play, like sort of like a sandbox. Once you do that, all of this creative energy is going to benefit. Some of you may have a little bit extra this month, and it's a time for you to be of service to others. You also may be someone who either needs support or mentorship. Don't be afraid to reach out. It may be close to home too, because this is a very domestic card, so a very close friend, an uncle, an aunt, something like that. It's a close friend that I think that you can reach out to. As we're looking at areas of potential stumbling this month, really watch your words. And when we were looking at the expanded forecast, that's where potentially that could get you into a storm that you don't want to be. So better to be quiet and to pause and just to listen than to say things you might regret. Keep an open mind. This is tapping into that channeled information, knowing that there's more than one way to do things. And in fact, your own approach may benefit from someone else. Don't fight the flow this month. If you're being guided to stop or to go in another direction, at least entertain that possibility as well, because it might be better than where you were. Plan something fun for the future and also for the end of this month, because as we look at the energy towards the end, there's some difficult things that you have to process. Definitely letting go of something that you may have not expected you needed to, and knowing that it's a good thing in the end. It's what's right for you. It's going to bring balance, but that doesn't mean that the process itself is easy. That's why as we looked at your health card, you want to try to reach out to someone. Don't feel alone. Know that there are people that can help you. When we look at your money situation, it's what naturally comes your way that you want to pay attention to. If you have to interview like 5 times for a job and it's not working, that's actually an example of this retroactive flow that's trying to push you from something. Now, there are times to be stubborn, but this month it looks like when you get a pushback, acknowledge it, wait and see in it, and see if there's something better that might be waiting for you. Just a warning when it comes to relationships, to not step into the middle of a storm, to try to pull back, to try to be intuitive, to be empathetic, to listen more than you speak. And finally, to focus on good health. It says focus on divine and perfect health. Believe that there's room for recovery, for being better than you think you could have been when it comes to your health, when it comes to your emotions and your diet and all of that. So really focus on putting positive energy in your body and allowing for the healing and the love to come through after that. So that brings your monthly forecast to a close. But if you ever have something going on in your life where you feel like you need a little bit more insight, I just want to remind you that I am here for you. If you look below the video, you'll notice that there are 3 links. That first link is a way to reach out and check rates and availability. So if you'd like, you can schedule a one-on-one appointment and we can look a little bit more deeper into what's going on in your life. If you'd like to just support this channel, I said it at the beginning, but I'll also say it now. A great way to do that is through Patreon or through a donation link on my site. All of this helps me buy cards and set aside the time that I need to do these videos. So thank you in advance if that's something that you're interested in. Another way to show support that only requires a few clicks is to go to that third link and join me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you've subscribed to the channel, liked the video, and opted into the notifications. All of this is a great way to stay in touch and to let me know that this is making a difference for you. I'd like to end everything with a couple of notes specific for each sign. Sometimes there's a general note. This month I'm getting specific. For you, I want you to embrace the idea that you are on a new sort of cycle in your life. We talked about the sort of flow of things. I'm seeing a positive shift happening, but what's important, I also saw that portal at the beginning. As I look at all of the cards in front of me, I realize there's a second interpretation for the portal. To put it in a few words, it's really the only way out is through, and you have to go through this release moment that I'm seeing here. And it's not necessarily as bad as it looks. It's just a matter of saying, okay, I'm gonna do this. It's a decision that you have to make. Once you've made the decision, you're through the portal, you're through the tunnel, and the light comes in. So once you allow for that release to happen, all of this energy then is allowed to flow in and things can change for you. So that brings everything to a close this month. I just want to say thank you so much for the work that you've been doing on yourself. I remind everybody each month that this is making the planet brighter and more resplendent, because as you get more attached to your goal, to your path, and you're sitting in your truth, your energy, your frequency is raised, and so is the planet by definition, sort of by amalgamation of your energy. So keep up that work. Know that it's making this world a better place, and thank you so much for letting me be part of your journey. Wishing you a lot of love, a lot of light, and just again, thanking you for allowing me to take the time that I needed this month. I'll see you real soon, and December will be out on time. Thank you.